Hello everybody, welcome back to the Messy Mamas podcast. And I really hope you guys liked yesterday's podcast. Being as like I said before, I'm new to the podcast scene. It's gonna take me a little bit of time to get used to this. It is kind of like YouTube videos, but it's a little different as well. And because I'm recording myself along with that, and I'm not using any sort of script or anything. This is all coming from a few notes here, just to keep me on topic, and my brain. I might digress a lot. I will try my best not to, but yeah. So today I wanted to come and release a few more podcasts, so you guys have some podcasts to listen to outside of just the one. I wanted to go ahead and release probably this one and one more. I want to go ahead and tell you guys, not every single one of these episodes is going to be fully about mental health. I want to also do a little bit of parenting, not necessarily advice, but more like let's just sit and talk about parenting, because if you're a parent, you know how difficult it is to be said parent. It's not easy, and it takes a village, and that's for sure. And when you don't necessarily have a ton of people, like friends and stuff like that, or even family, if that's your situation, to talk to, it's not super great because you get frustrated really easily and all of that, and you don't have anybody to talk to. So the point of the parenting part of the podcast is just simply to talk about the frustrations, the positives and the negatives, about parenting. And I would like, just like mental health, to open up the discussion probably on YouTube. I don't know if any of these podcasts will have areas to put comments in or not. I'm not like, extremely informed on how the different podcasts are laid out. I don't know if any of them have like comment areas or whatever. I know you can leave reviews, but that's about it. So here in YouTube, I will go ahead and tell you guys, if you want to leave some comments and stuff like that, your frustrations, your highs, your lows, if your kid did something super great and you want to just let everybody know about it, comment in the comments about it. If you want to comment your frustrations, I want this to be a completely open conversation for everybody to be, positive with and encourage each other with. I want to kind of make this a community of parents and or, in the mental health aspect. And don't get me wrong, I really do believe they all kind of go together. Parenting is important. It's extremely important job. And so mental health along with that is extremely important. And being a parent, it really can mess with your mental health sometimes, because you never really fully stop questioning yourself. You always are questioning, am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? But you know what? We'll just go ahead and talk about that in the next episode. It should be up soon after this one. But I do plan on going ahead and posting probably once a week. If you guys have any suggestions here on YouTube to talk about, please let me know in the comments. Leave me some feedback. I would really, really, really appreciate that. But today, by the way, I'm sorry for the scene here in YouTube. I figured the car was the best place for me to film right now. And of course, it's getting a little bit on the darker side, so the natural light's kind of gone. But I wanted to go ahead and film in a place where it was completely quiet, and I was able to really focus on the podcast itself. So you might see me film here in the car quite a bit. I might put a green screen on with some backgrounds or whatever, just to try and give you a nice look on the YouTube video itself. But if not, you can take a look at my car. It's messy. It's a mom car. Like that's all I could say about that. So what are we going to talk about today? After 5 minutes of sitting here and chatting about, random stuff. What are we going to talk about today? So today we're going to be talking about healthy coping mechanisms. And if you see me looking over here, I have my notes down here. So just to let you know, that is what I'm looking at. I want to just, be able to talk to you guys about all the bullet points that I have written down and not forget, because I'm very, very, very good at forgetting. So, number 1, healthy coping mechanisms for any and all mental illnesses. So again, with this disclaimer, I'm going to put this disclaimer in every single video because I don't want people to think that I am claiming to be a mental health professional or anything, or a health professional in general. I'm not. I am just a person who has gone through mental health issues myself my whole life, and these are my experiences, and or this is stuff I've researched because I research a lot on these topics. But yeah, so let's talk about healthy coping mechanism types of mental health issues. So, stress is one of the biggest things that lead to, the development of some of these mental health issues. We get so overwhelmed and stressed with life, and all of a sudden we start unhealthily coping with things that can lead to all different types of mental health issues. When we go into this and see, hey, I'm starting to really stress, or hey, I'm starting to have anxiety, here are some tips you can start to implement in your life to help you kind of keep all of those at bay, at least help in aid to keep things on the low end for different mental health issues. So first and foremost, I go to therapy every week, so a lot of these have come from things my therapists have suggested me, and I have tried out within the last couple of years. First and foremost, journaling. Journaling is huge. Being able to write down your feelings every single day. I 100% suggest having a journal right next to your bed. If you really like pen and paper, having one next to your bed, or if you're a technology person, having some sort of app on your phone. There's tons of good apps out there. I don't really have any app myself because I'm a pen and paper person, but if I do find any good apps for journaling, I will mention them in the next couple of podcasts or in a podcast in general. But yeah, journaling your life. So if you wake up and start feeling some form of way, journal it. Because once you start to see the pattern of why you're starting to feel the way you are, you can kind of try and figure out the triggers to what's happening in your life. If, say, you're going to work and you're coming home, and every day after you come home, within a couple of hours, you start to have a panic attack or an anxiety attack, you probably can figure out that is from this job. That is from the workplace I'm in. If you, eat a certain thing one day, maybe you can go ahead and write that down and say, I started to feel said way after I ate this. Every single day I felt this. These are kind of silly examples, but, food can mess with the mental health as well. So, if you eat a full cake one day and you're having a binge episode or something, then, that might bring on depression or a panic attack. So writing all of these certain things down, including in those the positive things that happen in your life. So if you have a really good day, journaling down that positive, kind of like a diary, I guess you could call it. All of us girls and guys who ever had a diary in their life as a teen or preteen, start doing what you were doing then, writing down everything that happens in your life. You can start figuring out your positive and negative triggers and what may or may not be helping you within your mental health journey or in life itself. So yeah, journaling is important. Acceptance is another one. Reaching out to yourself and saying, I accept the fact I am struggling. I am okay because I'm struggling, like I'm okay, but I'm struggling. Or I'm not okay, I'm struggling. Or whatever. Accepting the fact that you are not okay is okay. 100%. The stigma around admitting to not being okay is just that. It's a negative stigma, and it needs to stop, because everybody at one point in their life is not okay, and we should be open and honest to each other about that. The more we have these conversations, the more we can help heal and prevent these situations from happening. Obviously, there's cases of genetics and, different hormonal imbalances and all of that kind of stuff, but we're going to talk about the things that are preventable. If we can be open and honest with each other and say, hey, I need help today. I am not okay. I need to talk. Accepting that and being available to other people to talk is important. Another big important thing that I have actually experienced myself, and I'm not going to talk about this in a doctor point of view, because we're not going to talk about that kind of stuff. We're going to talk about from my point of view, from what me and my therapist and I have talked about and or implemented in life, the things I've seen other family members and loved ones Okay, so another thing is meditation and exercise. Meditation and exercise really does help for multiple different reasons. Yes, it does unlock different things in your brain that you might not be using on a regular basis. But in general, it just helps to refocus your brain and make you feel good. You don't have to exercise to lose weight. But if you do implement meditation or exercise for your mental health, it does help to unlock, this area in your brain you may not be using originally. We're not going to talk about losing weight, because that is definitely something I don't want to talk about all the time and don't want to talk about in general here, because that's not the point of exercise in this aspect, in the mental health aspect. Being able to distract your brain is really good. Giving yourself positive things to think about. So, if you're exercising, saying, I'm doing really good in this. I'm trying my hardest. Meditating, opening up your brain to all the information and all of that kind of stuff. It's very helpful. And it does release different endorphins and stuff like that on the medical aspect. I know we weren't going to talk about, sorry, my stomach started growling. We're not going to talk about the medical aspect, but I wanted to mention that it does release endorphins to help, create good environment in your head. And so exercise and meditation, in my opinion, is also a really good one to implement into your daily work. Something as simple as dancing can be considered exercising. So it's not like something you have to do with weights or you have to do a bunch of crunches or anything. Dancing is wonderful. I love to dance. So if I can incorporate dancing in my daily life, that not only helps keep me healthy, but it keeps my brain healthy too. So that is an important one. Distancing yourself from stress. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but we will still talk about it. If you have a job that you are coming home from every single day, bawling your eyes out, really mad, really upset, it's probably something you should take yourself out of. If you have, a situation somewhere with a friend or a family member that you are constantly in distress over, and you're constantly finding yourself completely and utterly, I guess distressed. That's the only word I can think of to really explain what I'm saying. Distancing yourself from that stress. If you have a friend who is really causing a lot of harm to you, distance yourself from them. They probably aren't, meant to be in the next chapter in your life. You are meant to heal. So doing so can really help keep your mental health issues at bay, or at least help you be able to help yourself a little better. Eating healthier. having a balanced diet isn't just about, like, again, losing weight or anything like that. It's about helping your brain nourish itself and be happy with the fact that, you know, you're getting all of the different nutritional things you need in a good balanced diet. Eating junk food all the time, as a person who has an issue with binge eating, I'm a stress eater really badly, and I've had to overcome that, and I still struggle a lot every single day, but overcoming the stress eating is really important. And having a balanced diet, eating healthy, has definitely helped, you know, the depression that comes along with binge eating to stay down. If you're constantly filling your body with nasty foods and stuff, that isn't good, not only is it messing with the chemicals in your brain, it also is messing with you being able to be happy. If you're stuffing yourself, you're probably feeling disgustingly full and all of that. And don't get me wrong, have the piece of cake if you want to have the piece of cake. If you want to eat something, eat it. But just moderations and making sure you're eating good things to balance it out, that's what's important. Keeping your brain healthy will keep your body healthy, and vice versa as well. So deep breathing. Deep breathing is another one that really, really helps. Something like, you know, I made a video on YouTube. It's a graphic and text kind of video with really calming nature sounds and music. Sitting there and just closing your eyes while listening to something like that and just deep breathing can help reset your brain and help to put you in a happier place, or at least kind of dissolve the stress in your head a little bit so you can find peace for even deep breathing can be really well, you know, something really well to do as well. Talking, we kind of talked about this in yesterday's podcast, as well as, you know, earlier in this podcast, talking about your issues. It doesn't have to be with a therapist if you don't want it to be, but I do highly suggest a therapist. They are professionals. They know what to look for, how to help, all of that kind of stuff. But even talking to a friend or family member you trust, that can be really important. I am a Christian myself, so I have found myself reaching out to my pastor before about, you know, what I wanted help with, or like what his advice was. So talking and being open with people who can help you is very important to help cope with different things happening in your life as well. Finding hobbies you love. The whole goal of keeping a mental health and illness in check is being happy. And finding hobbies and things that you love can really help keep you happy and fulfilled in life. So find those hobbies. One thing I love doing, obviously, is talking on like podcasts and filming videos and all that kind of stuff. It's something I love to do. So I do it, and it makes me happy. It makes me feel like I'm fulfilling my duty in life. I'm fulfilling my purpose. I love to craft. I have a business that I do. I sublimate tumblers. Fueling other people helps make me feel happy. So doing things that make me feel good can really help keep my mental health issues at bay. Muscle relaxation, you know, all different kind of things like we were talking about earlier, exercising, meditation, getting massages, stuff like that can help to release the tension that holds in your body and can cause more stress. I was actually doing a little bit of research into, my friend actually also was doing the research and sent me some videos, and we were talking about it, about how trauma can really affect your body and how like pain in your hips can sometimes be there from trauma. So finding exercises and stretches to release that trauma can help release the pain in your body. Some cases, again, not all cases this applies to, but try it. I mean, Pinterest has so many different things you can find on their YouTube. Search up trauma related or trauma, how should I put this? Trauma pain stretches or something like that. Search that up and you will find tons of different stretches to help relieve the tension in your body and help to kind of make you feel better. Prioritizing yourself. Prioritizing yourself is simple. You need to come first sometimes. Everybody else is important. I won't lie about that. Your family is important. Your loved ones are important. But if you don't have a full cup, how can you give to others? How can you pour out of an empty cup? I guess I should say. So you need to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself enough to fill your cup so that you can fill others' cups as well. Sorry, I have a really hard time when I start talking, not tripping over my words. So I apologize about that. But yeah, empty cup cannot fill another cup. So prioritize yourself enough to give yourself a full cup. So that if you want to help others, if you desire to help others, you can do that. Another thing, this kind of goes along with like the healthy body. If you are deficient in any sort of, vitamin deficiencies, make sure you find that out, because getting the right vitamins and supplements in your life can really make a huge difference. I struggle with seasonal depression. So one of the things my doctor and therapists have suggested to me is vitamin D. When I started taking the vitamin D, I could just feel the difference in just like a couple of weeks, because I was getting something that my body was lacking and therefore throwing my whole body balance off. So finding out what you're deficient in, if you're deficient in anything, and getting those, you can do natural supplements, you can do all of that kind of stuff. You don't have to do pharmaceutical necessarily. Natural is good too. If you like to go to the pharmaceutical way, that's totally fine. Whatever your preference is, find out if you're deficient and make sure you're taking care of your health that way. Finding supplements that work for you. Doing your research on all of that is very important. Self-talk, again, I'll reference panic attack. If you're having a panic attack, using self-talk to help keep your anxiety lower and telling yourself, I'm okay. I know this is a panic attack. I accept this as a panic attack. I'm going to talk myself through it. I am okay. I will be okay. This too shall pass. Finding good, healthy coping mechanisms, which I did make, like I said before, I did make a YouTube video on a couple of different things you can do for a panic attack to help, reverse the effects a little bit. Maybe I'll do a podcast on that since I did a video. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a longer podcast about that. But doing things like walking barefoot in nature, do it safely, obviously, if you're in a really rocky area or something, or if it's super cold. Do it wisely, but essential oils are really good. Doing the self-talk and all of that can really help to refocus your brain again. That is a key thing I think we've talked about so many times in this and my last podcast. Refocusing your brain can help tremendously. Take what you're on right now and focus on something else. Doesn't necessarily mean you're pushing it to the back and saying this isn't exist. It does, but saying I'm going to choose to refocus my brain and put positive things in it instead of continuously fueling the negative. If you have a fire, you're not going to continue to put gas on it if you're trying to put it out. You're going to put water on it. So if you are having negative thoughts right now and having an anxiety attack, you're not going to continue to keep feeding it negative thoughts, because those negative thoughts are just going to make the fire bigger, make the attack bigger. If you start putting positive things into your negative mindset or negative healthy issue space, whatever it is, you can kind of diet down a little bit. It might not take it away completely by any means, and sometimes it doesn't fix it, but sometimes it can help. So just try it. Try these things to really, at least see what maybe could help you. And the last thing we're going to talk about is self-care. All of these things that we talked about can kind of go into self-care. Doing things you love, doing things that make you happy, getting out of the space that you are in is self-care in general. If that means going to take a shower, for Pete's sake, go take a shower. Help yourself to feel good. If you are in a depression episode, getting up, going and taking a shower, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, eating something good, whatever that may be, can help. If you're walking outside, if you felt like you were trapped in four walls in your house, getting outside and breathing the fresh air in can really help with the self-care in general and help keep things at bay as well. So, all of that being said, it's very important to take care of yourself and to take care of your mental health. And I'm going to end my episodes with a little Bible verse to try and encourage you guys to just keep you positive for the week or whatever, the day you're in, whenever you're listening to this too. Okay, so here's a really good Bible verse for you if you stayed to listen to the Bible verse. Philippians 4:6-7. Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. So just let that be a little light in your path today. And just know that there are plenty of people to talk to. You're not alone. I will go ahead and talk to you in the next podcast, and I hope your day is amazing just like you.